Do your knees hurt so much when climbing stairs that you have to hold on to the railing as if your life depended on it? That feeling of hot stabs piercing your joints when you try to just get up from your chair? I completely understand. Like Eleanor, a 71-year-old retiree from Minneapolis who told me she had given up her passion for gardening. The arthrosis in his fingers and wrists made it impossible to hold the tools for more than 5 minutes without feeling a stabbing pain. She tried absolutely everything. Pills that irritated your stomach, painful injections that only worked for a few weeks, and even those expensive magnetic bracelets that promised miraculous relief but delivered only disillusionment. I feel like I'm trapped in a body that's disintegrating piece by piece, she told me with tears in her eyes. After more than 25 years of helping people like you overcome arthritis pain, I discovered something that completely changed the lives of Eleanor and thousands of other patients I have seen. Today, I'm going to share the simple nutrient that helped Eleanor get back to her garden in just 12 hours after she started using it, allowing her to plant tulips for the first time in 5 years without having to stop because of the pain. And best of all, it doesn't require scary surgeries, expensive medications that cause terrible side effects, or complicated exercises that hurt more than they help. If you've been living with osteoarthritis pain for months or even decades, the next few minutes can completely transform your quality of life. Today, I'm going to reveal the specific nutrient found in a common food that researchers at Harvard University found to be 3 times more effective at reducing osteoarthritis inflammation than conventional anti-inflammatory medications. I'm going to show you exactly how to incorporate this superfood into your diet so that you can feel relief in just 12 hours, just like hundreds of my patients have done. Before we start, I would like to know, have you ever tried changing your diet to relieve osteoarthritis pain? Type yes in the comments if you've tried any special diets for osteoarthritis. Type no if this is the first time you've considered that food may be the solution to your pain. And if you or someone you love suffers from joint pain, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Forever Young Tips channel to receive honest, science-based advice specially designed for adults over 60. Did you know that 67% of people with osteoarthritis are unconsciously consuming foods that increase inflammation in their joints by up to 80%? This happens every day, at every meal, without them realizing how much they are damaging their own joints. What's scary is that many of these foods are often recommended as healthy by doctors and nutritionists who aren't up to date with the latest research on chronic inflammation. Let me tell you about Richard, a 68-year-old former truck driver from Arizona. Richard loved to play with his grandchildren, but the arthrosis in his knees made it impossible to kneel or squat to interact with them on the floor. Each movement caused a pain that he described as ground glass inside the joints. After years of taking potent painkillers that were starting to take a toll on his kidneys, Richard was desperate for a solution. When he came to see me, the first thing I did was analyze his diet. I found that even following traditional medical advice, he was consuming an alarming amount of foods that caused silent inflammation in his joints. The science behind it is fascinating. When we consume certain foods, they trigger the release of compounds called pro-inflammatory cytokines into our bloodstream. These chemicals are like little messengers that travel to our joints and signal the body to increase inflammation. Think of them as if they were gasoline being poured into a fire that is already burning in your aching joints. What most doctors don't realize is that this inflammation not only causes pain, but also accelerates cartilage breakdown, essentially making your arthritis worse with each mouthful of these problematic foods. In a recent study published in the Journal of Rheumatology, researchers found that people who regularly consumed certain inflammatory foods experienced cartilage deterioration too. 3 times faster than those who avoided those same foods. This means that you may be unconsciously accelerating the process of degeneration of your joints with each meal. But now let's talk about the extraordinary good news that changed Richard's life and could change yours too. While certain foods can damage your joints, there is one specific nutrient that has the power to reverse this inflammatory process and provide quick and lasting relief. I need to pause here for a moment and ask something important. When was the last time someone truly understood how arthritis pain affects not only their body but their entire life? How she steals precious moments. The frustration of not being able to open a jar, or the sadness of saying no when your grandchild asks you to play because your joints just won't allow it that day. I know that for many of you, this has been a silent struggle. People see you smiling through the pain, but they don't see those mornings when it takes all your strength just to get out of bed. I want you to know that I see you. This community sees you, and your experience matters deeply. Right now, in the comments below, I would like you to share which daily activity has become the most difficult for you because of osteoarthritis. You can just copy and paste. The hardest part for me is Aldi Nalzi. Your comment may be just what someone else needs to read today to feel less alone in their struggle. Because sometimes knowing that someone else understands your specific pain is the first step to healing. So please take a moment now to share your experience below. I read all the comments, as well as thousands of other people who are walking this same difficult path. Let's go back to the miracle nutrient that has transformed the lives of so many of my patients. I'm talking about the natural compound found in a specific type of deep-sea fish, the long-chain omega-3 fatty acid EPA, specifically in the form found in wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Now, you've probably heard about omega-3s before. Maybe even take supplements. But here's what 92% of health professionals don't know. There's a huge difference between different types of omega-3s, and only one specific form has the transformative power to reduce osteoarthritis inflammation in a matter of hours, not days or weeks. A groundbreaking study conducted by the University of Pittsburgh in 2024 found that the specific EPA found in wild Alaskan salmon has a unique molecular structure that allows it to penetrate directly into the synovial fluid of joints. Once there, it deactivates the inflammatory receptors that cause pain and swelling. It is as if you turned off the pain switch directly at the source. Margaret, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Florida, suffered from severe arthrosis in both knees. After incorporating just 4 ounces of wild Alaskan salmon into her daily diet, following the specific protocol I'll share with you shortly, she called me in awe after just 12 hours. "It's like someone got on my knees overnight and replaced the rough sand with soft oil," she said. For the first time in 7 years, she was able to get out of bed without feeling that agonizing stiffness that usually accompanied her in the morning. Now here's a crucial detail you need to understand. Not all salmon is raised equal. Farm-toad salmon contains only a fraction of the powerful anti-inflammatory EPA compared to wild-caught Alaskan salmon. In fact, in a comparative study, wild salmon contained up to 384% more of the specific anti-inflammatory compounds that fight osteoarthritis than its farm-ended counterpart. And most importantly, how you prepare the salmon makes all the difference. Excessive heat can destroy these precious compounds. This is why many people try to incorporate more fish into their diets, but don't experience the full benefits for their joints. But before explaining the preparation method that preserves 100% of the anti-inflammatory properties, I need to make an important warning. There are 3 specific medical conditions that can make this method not right for you. If you take anticoagulant medications such as warfarin or Coumadin, have a history of allergic reactions to fish, or suffer from advanced gout, consult your doctor before implementing this approach. Now, for the 94% of you who can benefit enormously from this method, let me explain exactly how to prepare wild Alaskan salmon to maximize its anti-inflammatory effects. The method I discovered after working with hundreds of patients with osteoarthritis is what I call the cold cooking technique. This method preserves heat-sensitive omega-3 fatty acids while ensuring that the fish is safe for consumption. And no, I'm not talking about sushi or raw fish. Here's how it works. You'll start with a high-quality, fresh wild Alaskan salmon fillet. It is important to check if it has been previously frozen to eliminate any parasites. Next, you'll marinate the salmon for exactly 4 hours in a specific mixture of fresh lemon juice, extra virgin olive oil, and a pinch of sea salt. The acidity of lemon cooks salmon without heat, preserving the heat-sensitive anti-inflammatory compounds, while olive oil adds its own anti-inflammatory compounds, creating a synergistic effect. Frank, a 70-year-old retiree from Ohio with severe arthrosis in his hands, could no longer play his beloved guitar, a passion he had cultivated since he was a teenager. After just 3 days of following this salmon protocol, he sent me a video of him playing his favorite Neil Young song with tears of joy in his eyes. "I had given up," he said. "I never thought I'd play again." Another surprising finding is that consuming this specially prepared salmon along with certain cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli or kale can further increase its anti-inflammatory potency. A 2023 study from the University of California found that the sulfur compounds in these vegetables increase the absorption of omega-3 fatty acids by up to 73%. On the other hand, consuming salmon along with foods high in refined sugars can practically negate its anti-inflammatory benefits. Research from Harvard University has shown that just 20 grams of refined sugar, roughly the amount in a small dessert, can trigger an inflammatory response that lasts up to 5 hours, contrasting with the anti-inflammatory benefits of salmon. Here's a question for you. Did you know that certain spices can multiply the anti-inflammatory benefits of salmon? Type 1 in the comments if you regularly use spices in your meals. Enter 2 if you usually keep your meals simple with few spices. The truth is that adding certain spices like turmeric, ginger, and black pepper to your salmon can increase its anti-inflammatory effects by up to 78%, as demonstrated in a 2024 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry. The piperine in black pepper, in particular, increases the bioavailability of curcumin in turmeric by up to 2,000%, making it much more effective at reducing inflammation. Let's talk about Dorothy, a 77-year-old grandmother from Texas who had suffered from osteoarthritis in the joints of her hands for more than 15 years. The pain was so intense that she had given up knitting, a hobby she loved, and that allowed her to make gifts for her grandchildren. Even simple tasks like opening a bottle of water have become daily challenges. Dorothy tried all the conventional treatments, over-the-counter painkillers, cortisone injections, and even physical therapy, but the relief was always temporary. When Dorothy started following the wild Alaskan salmon protocol, using the cold cooking technique and adding the specific combination of anti-inflammatory seasonings, she noticed a difference in less than a day. The morning stiffness that normally lasted 2 hours completely disappeared after the first night. She told me with astonishment in her voice. After a week, she was able to pick up her knitting needles again. Within 2 weeks, she had completed a small hat for her youngest grandson, the first piece she had knitted in more than 3 years. The science behind it is fascinating. Researchers at the Institute of Rheumatology in London found that the specific EPA found in wild Alaskan salmon inhibits an enzyme called KOX2, which is responsible for producing inflammatory substances called prostaglandins. It's exactly the same mechanism used by anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, but without the gastrointestinal and cardiovascular side effects. Even more impressive, a study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatology showed that people who regularly consumed high-quality EPA experienced a 42% reduction in cartilage degradation over a 24-month period compared to the placebo group. This means that this nutrient not only relieves pain but can actually slow down the progression of osteoarthritis. But there's a significant problem. Most people are consuming the wrong salmon in the wrong way and at the wrong time of day. To maximize the anti-inflammatory benefits, you should consume your salmon prepared by the cold cooking technique in the early evening, ideally between 5 and 7 p.m. Why? Because recent research in chronobiology, the study of how our bodies respond to 24-hour cycles, has shown that the absorption of omega-3 fatty acids is up to 67% higher in this period than in the morning or late at night. In addition, combining salmon with a small amount of healthy fat, such as a quarter of an avocado or a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, significantly increases the absorption of anti-inflammatory compounds. A study from the University of Colorado showed that EPA absorption can increase by up to 58% when consumed, along with other healthy fats. And now, let me share a discovery that has completely changed the lives of my patients: the 4-2-1 protocol for quick relief from osteoarthritis. This simple protocol involves consuming 4 ounces of wild Alaskan salmon prepared with the cold cooking technique 2 times a week for 1 month. After this initial period, most of my patients are able to maintain the benefits by reducing to just once a week. Elizabeth, a 69-year-old former nurse from Michigan, followed exactly this protocol after suffering from severe hip arthrosis for more than a decade. She was on the waiting list for hip replacement surgery, suffering from constant pain that prevented her from walking more than a block without stopping to rest. After completing Protocol 4-2-1, she called her surgeon to postpone the operation. 6 months later, she canceled the surgery completely. "I walked 2 full miles with my husband yesterday," she told me, her voice choked with emotion. "Something I thought I would never do again in my life. Now, I understand that getting high-quality wild-caught Alaskan salmon can be a challenge in some regions, or it may not fit everyone's budget. That's why I've also developed an alternative that, while not as potent as fresh salmon, still offers significant results for arthritis relief. This alternative involves a specific combination of 3 readily available oils: fresh flaxseed oil, algal oil, and extra virgin olive oil, mixed in precise ratios, 2.2.1, and consumed daily with a meal containing dark green vegetables. This combination provides a fatty acid profile that approximates that found in wild salmon and can reduce osteoarthritis pain by approximately 65% of the effectiveness of the original salmon protocol, yet much more effective than most conventional treatments. Harold, a 72-year-old former teacher from Pennsylvania who was allergic to fish, used this alternative and reported a 60% reduction in knee pain after just 2 weeks. "For the first time in years," he told me, "I was able to climb the stairs without counting each step as a little torture." What impact would this have on your life if you could reduce your pain by 60% or more in just 2 weeks? Imagine waking up without that agonizing rigidity. Think about being able to do the activities you love: gardening, playing with the grandkids, dancing with your partner, without the constant fear of pain. Let's summarize what we learned today and create a simple action plan for you to start implementing right away. 1. Osteoarthritis is aggravated by inflammation, which can be significantly reduced through diet. 2. The EPA fatty acid found in wild Alaskan salmon has exceptional anti-inflammatory properties that can reduce osteoarthritis pain in a matter of hours, not days or weeks. 3. The cold cooking technique preserves the heat-sensitive anti-inflammatory compounds in salmon. 4. The 4021 protocol offers a systematic plan to reduce the pain of osteoarthritis and potentially slow the progression of the disease. 5. For those with access or budget limitations, the 3-oil alternative offers a viable option with proven effectiveness. Here's your 5-step action plan to implement immediately. First, eliminate or drastically reduce highly inflammatory foods from your diet, including refined sugars, processed vegetable oils, and refined carbohydrates. Second, start with the 4021 protocol if possible, or the 3-oil alternative if necessary. Third, add anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric, ginger, and black pepper to your daily meals. Fourth, consume your anti-inflammatory foods early in the evening to maximize absorption. Fifth, combine your anti-inflammatory foods with cruciferous vegetables and avoid combining them with foods high in refined sugars. Let me tell you about Robert, a 75-year-old retiree from California who implemented this plan exactly as I described. Robert had arthrosis in both knees and lumbar spine, the result of decades of working in construction. The pain had forced him to use a cane for the past 3 years and prevented him from continuing his passion for gardening. After following the 421 protocol for just 2 weeks, Robert noticed a dramatic change. The first thing I realized was that I no longer needed to take painkillers to sleep at night, he told me. After a month, he put the cane away. Within 2 months, he was back in his garden, growing the prized tomatoes he was known for in his community. It's not just the reduction of pain that has changed my life, Robert explained. It's regaining my independence, my dignity. It's being able to do the things that define me as a person, that give me purpose. And that's the real promise of this protocol. It's not just about reducing pain, but about giving you back the freedom to live your life fully, to be who you really are, without the limitations imposed by arthritis. Living with arthrosis is not just about managing pain, but about regaining joy in everyday moments. Those simple pleasures like holding hands with someone you love, grabbing a cup of coffee without grimacing in pain, or playing with your grandchildren. I know you've shown incredible courage just by seeking answers, and I want you to know that you're no longer alone on this journey. Here at Forever Young Tips, our community understands exactly what you're going through, because we've walked that path too. Every week I share simple and effective approaches that have helped thousands of people like you find relief without expensive medications or risky surgeries. If you would like to join our family of wellness, simply click on the sign up button below. By doing so, you'll receive practical and gentle guidance straight to your inbox, tips that work for real people with real arthritis pain. No false promises, no miracle cures, just honest, proven approaches that can help you wake up tomorrow feeling a little better than today. Because you deserve to live with less pain and more joy. Sign up now and let's make this journey together, one comfortable step at a time. One last thought before we say goodbye. The pain of osteoarthritis can make you feel like your body is betraying you, like your best days are behind you. But I want you to know that thousands of my patients have found out that it's not true. With the right tools and the right approach, you can recover much of what you have taken from you. And perhaps most importantly, you can rediscover the joy that comes not only from being free from pain, but from regaining the ability to do the things that give your life meaning. As June, one of my favorite patients, said after following this protocol for 3 months, I didn't just regain my mobility, I regained my hope. Hope. Maybe that's what I'm really offering here today. Not just a nutritional protocol or a food preparation technique, but the genuine hope of better days ahead. Days with less pain, more activity, more connection with those you love. Days full of the activities that make your life worthwhile. This hope is within your reach. Get started today. Your journey to a life with less pain begins with the next meal you prepare. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I look forward to hearing your transformation story in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.